Definitely needs to be more dramatic, because it's going to be dramatic. Here we go. Booyah!
Wow.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I hope people like it.
Because like with Hometown, we have, some creative control because we're the ones telling the story. But with this, it was someone else's story and someone else is making it. We're just a part in it.
Yeah, it's unusual for us, but I'm excited. I think people will like it. It's a sweet concept.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun on this house.
Hey.
All right, welcome to the Staples house.
Oh, it looks amazing. That is so beautiful.
With 6 seasons of their hit show Hometown and several successful spin-offs, you might think that Ben and Erin Napier are pretty comfortable in front of the camera.
Carpet tight.
But the HGTV stars weren't so sure about making the leap to acting in the new holiday movie, A Christmas Open House.
We originally were like, I don't know, because we're not actors in the traditional sense. We don't, develop the character or get into character. We are just us reacting to what happens in our normal job, but it's in front of a camera.
I mean, it was just fascinating to see how painstaking the process of making a movie is versus, we're like shoot things fast and loose when you're making Hometown. I mean, it's just what happens, and we try to get it from the best angle.
It is a step above
home
video, but with much better equipment.
And much better people filming it. But in a movie, there's just so much repetition and making sure that there's continuity. It was fascinating. I love to know how things are made, so that was fun.
Beforehand, we had a meeting with the director to go over the script, and it was obvious that whoever had written it was not a home renovator or a construction worker or a woodworker. And so we were,
They kind of left like fill in the blank.
Yeah, and they let us kind of, develop that side a little bit.
And say what we'd really say as a designer or a furniture maker.
Luckily, we had to spend about an hour with Katie and Victor before we started to kind of build a really quick relationship, because like my character and Victor's character are supposed to be best friends, and we had never met them, but this is kind of my forte, is meeting someone and making a connection really quickly. And Victor was in a show called How to Make It in America, and I loved that show, and like he was just mind blown that I had even heard of the show.
Ladies, it's hot out here tonight, right?
That was the click, and then we were pals, and we had it, and we ran from there.
Acting isn't Erin's only new endeavor this year. She recently oversaw the opening of a new store, the Scent Library in Laurel, Mississippi.
Well, every scent tells a story. So if I smell something familiar from childhood, it puts you back there. It's like time travel. And I wanted the Scent Library, all of our fragrances are grouped by topic or subject, like in a library, because certain fragrances make me feel certain. The garden collection we came out with this summer, it was all inspired by my grandfather or my grandmother and my dad's gardens and the things that came out of them and the ways those are what I have a lot of summer memories connected to. So we're gonna have an architecture collection. The adventure collection are more masculine fragrances that are inspired by like leather and more cologne-based fragrance. And we'll have periodicals, which is seasonal, and I could get on a deep dive about this, but fragrance is something that it's as much a part of home. Every room in our house has like a signature fragrance because I'm so obsessed with the way it's an experience. It's an experience that you can repeat anytime you smell it again. So anyway, yeah, it's gorgeous. It feels like you're walking into a miniature version of the Boston Public Library, basically. And there's
cork floors
like in a museum.
Quarter sewn white oak, a reception desk, which is our checkout counter. Circulation desk, sorry. And then the bookshelves are all quarter sewn white oak, and there's a lot of lamp
built
light.
In our factory, yeah. And we have so much great low lighting that feels mysterious, and It's such an experience. And shoppers will have a library card, and every time they use it, then they get like rewards for shopping so many times. We've never heard of a store like this in the world, so I want everyone to come see it.
Somehow, the Napiers also found the time to buy and renovate a new home for their family of 4, which will be fully revealed during the upcoming season of Hometown.
This is why we bought it.
All
What
the
you can see
woodwork.
behind us.
It was just like the thought of, first of all, finding a historic house in a rural setting doesn't exist here. There were a lot of houses built in the 1800s out in the rural areas, but they were built by farmers who had not big means. And so
Once they made their money, they would tear that house down and build a new
something
one.
new around the 1950s, 1940s. So this is just really unusual. And we thought if anyone else bought that house, they would paint all that woodwork. We can't let that happen.
The big thing is the girls can run wild and get filthy.
Yeah. A lot of tree climbing and dirt digging and fishing. Those are things that were just normal, every day, a part of our life growing up. We both grew up out in the country. And then when you live in town, you have, a little postage stamp of a yard, which we loved when we didn't have kids.
Once you put a swing set and a dog and a kiddie pool and a rabbit cage, and suddenly the yard that felt like a huge yard in the beginning starts feeling a lot smaller. And with the show, we couldn't really use our front yard. We were limited to the backyard, and so it was.
And we still love our house in town. That's home.
Yeah.
But this place is going to be something. Also, this is a funny thing, is Ben has become obsessed with, since we have 2 children now, that someday they should each get a house. He wants fairness, total fairness in everything.
I don't think they have a preference, but Helen told us that one day this is gonna be her house, because she's known she wanted to be a country girl since she was a baby.
And Helen is loving never wearing shoes when she's here. She just takes her shoes off and she runs through the fields and into the woods.
But also, they play together too.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Helen said, "Thank you for getting me a sister," the other night. And that makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
She's actually become the one that bathes May at night. Helen helps her get out of her clothes.
So we finish supper and we start cleaning up the table. Helen goes to the bathroom and starts the bath. She comes and gets May,
Gets her undressed.
helps her into the tub, then climbs in with her.
And then I supervise, but Helen has to do the actual shampooing and bathing of May, and May just loves it. She feels like she's at the beauty shop, I guess. But it's really sweet, really, really sweet. I watched them and just tried not to cry like a crazy woman, because Helen didn't understand what's so sweet and so special about this. But to us, we know this is special, and it's fleeting too. They're only going to be little for such a short time, and they won't bathe together forever. And I feel like we are in the middle of living the best years of our life, and I'm very aware of it, and I want to keep it somehow.